Welcome to Midnight Linux. So today we are going to check the settings. I think all I did while you guys were away from the last video is I added Steam and OBS, and also cleaned up my applications a little bit. I just put them in these groups, most of them. So I wanted to go over the fact that I found out when I was looking at the Cachy OS website, which is probably right here. So I installed the Steam through this Cachy OS meta package that they call it, and I haven't tried it yet, but it installed fine. It has like some variables here you can change on their config files, I guess. We will have to look at that later, but the more important thing that I was looking at here is post install recommendations. So it was very interesting to find out that the Octopi application they had in there is the GUI for you to update the system if you want to do a GUI. I still do the way I showed you the last video, which was sudo pacman dash capital S lowercase yu, and that'll do the update automatically. So that's the way I do it, but you can use that Octopi app that came with the operating system to also do it through the GUI. The other thing that was really important that most people will probably miss unless they read this carefully is that you have to do this. You have to go to sudo micro etc conf.d wireless reg dom file. So let me show you. I already did it, but it's basically something you have to do so that your frequencies on your wireless conform to your country's laws and about frequencies, because certain countries allow certain frequencies for the Wi-Fi. So let's go ahead and go inside. So here you see all the countries, and you would have to take this little pound sign off so you can activate your country. So what I did was I found US right here, and took out that so I uncommented it, and then once you did that, you have to hit Control S and then Control Q to quit. Control S is to save, and then Control Q to quit, and that's pretty much it. Then you were done. So just remember to do this if you're installing Cachy OS, because it doesn't do it right out of the box. It's something that you have to let me do control quit. So it's something that you have to do manually. Okay, I didn't see anything else like that. That one's the most important one that I saw. So I think do that for your country. And then they have a few other options for you. But yes, I definitely recommend coming to the Cachy OS wiki, because there are some things that most people might not, have known. So definitely not a beginner OS. Now that I'm diving into it more, I thought from what a lot of people were saying was that this was going to be kind of like plug and play, which mostly is, but as you can see, unless you came to read this, you would not know about configuring your Wi-Fi and all that stuff. So the other thing that I was looking into was my OBS, and I set it up earlier today, and it worked fine it seemed like it was fine. And then I finished doing the video because I installed the Steam, and then I went through that wireless setup, and then I also went through the smplayer setup that I use. And then when I was finished, I noticed that OBS had not, it errored out basically. Right now it still seems to be working, so I think we're okay right now, but it errored out and it didn't record that first video that I tried. So that's why you see some of these things already done. But a few of the things that we went over this earlier, I found out that the software manager here looks like it's mostly Flatpaks. We installed LibreOffice, and it was a Flatpak, and it went fine. So here you go. We got the LibreOffice, and it was not a problem. It's just something to be aware of. Looks like it's a lot of these things, if you're going to be using the GUI, is going to be a Flatpak. They have their own package installer here, which also has the basics like LibreOffice. So that probably gets it from the Arch repositories, and maybe some of it from the Cachy repositories, but there are your two applications. This one's mostly Flatpaks, it looks like, and this is probably all from the repositories. I didn't check them all, obviously. I only did a few programs, but That's the way it looks. The other thing we should go over, I think, today. I mean, we had that one bug with OBS, and so that's like our first bug that I've encountered on Cachy. And well, we'll see. I mean, one bug, I'm not gonna complain, but we'll see if it has more bugs as we go. So the next thing, let's take a look at smplayer. I'm gonna show you my settings. That way you guys can at least get to know this program if you haven't used it. I think it's better than VLC, and basically when you start from the beginning, I uncheck remember time position. You can leave it on. It just remembers where you left your video off the next time you turn it on. I like it to start from the beginning, so I uncheck that. The other thing I did was I went into video and clicked the start in full screen. I like my videos to just, when I click on them, to be instantly full screen. So that does that for you. Audio, I don't think I changed anything. And I didn't change anything in there either. So let's go to drives. Nothing was changed there. Performance. Here what I did was I put 4 threads and I put it on auto copy because I think for giving it more threads, more horsepower. I have 8 cores here with 16 threads, so I think just giving it a little more horsepower, you'll get a better result. I don't know, I have never A/B tested it, but there you go. I put it, instead of auto, I put it on auto copy. I heard VAPI copy is also really good video quality, but I like auto copy. It works for me. I've been using it for many years. If you remember from the last video, I was explaining that this is just much more clear than I found VLC to be. It does pretty much all the same. It has all the same kind of features. It's just a better quality video. So this is one of the reasons why. So I would recommend that if you have decent hardware, try auto copy or VAPI copy, and maybe giving it a little more threads to work with. Now, Cachy, I didn't change anything. Subtitles, I didn't change anything. Interface, the only one I have checked here is remember position and size, so that way it's always in the same spot when I'm take it off full screen. Seeking, I don't change anything here. Here I don't change anything. In the floating controls I do. This was not checked, so anytime you move the cursor it would show the bar on the bottom. But if you check this, only when you go to the bottom will the bar show up. And then you can change the timing of how long the bar stays there after you move the cursor away. So it was too long. It was like 30,000 milliseconds, and I put it down to 500 milliseconds. And those are the changes I did here. Privacy, I didn't change anything, and IDP, I didn't change anything. Now, keyboard, I didn't change anything here. These are shortcuts. Here I did a couple of things. So this one said none, but I like it when I left click on the video to pause, and then I would left click and then it would resume. So that's called play pause. So I put it on play pause. Double clicking takes you out of full screen or back into full screen, and so I left that the way it was. Right click, I left it the way it was, show context menu. And then the other one I changed was this one, wheel function. It was set to scroll back on the video or go forward in video on the video. I prefer to set the wheel to control the volume. I think it just makes more sense, and that's the way I like it. So feel free to put it that way if you also would like to control the volume with the wheel. And I didn't change anything on here. So playlist, I unchecked this because I don't really need to start a playlist when I play something. And I also left play files from start. So I think that was already checked. So I checked it again, make sure it's on. And then I didn't change anything else. So then we went to here. I unchecked this. I don't use the TV feature on this, so I unchecked it. So I don't need it to check for channels. Updates, I also unchecked because that'll get updated when you do your system update. Network, I didn't change anything here. Maybe some of you will use it. I don't stream to other places or to other computers, so I didn't set anything up here. And advanced, in this first page I don't change anything. This stays the same, but what I did change here on this page, I added a dash loop, as you can see. And dash loop, it just repeats your video endlessly. So if I fall asleep and I have something on, it'll just keep looping it, I like that. You can, if you don't want it to do that, you just don't add that to this. And I also added dash OSD dash bar equals no, which takes away this extra bar that you would see when changing the volume. So If you don't put this, you'll see like a bar, a white bar, kind of big in the middle of the screen. So if you don't like it, add that. OSD dash bar equals no, with a dash in the front. You need to have a space in between the loop, right, and the dash, so it knows it's two separate commands. And that's it. I'll show you how it plays. I'm gonna play you something that from one of my other videos. I like the formatting right here. So it goes full screen, and it has very high quality playback. I always like this the system. So there you go. It's as you can see, I move the cursor to the bottom, I get the bar, I move it away, the bar disappears. You can adjust that timing if you like, but for me that's perfect. Now let's see, what else did we do? I still haven't set up a game, so that's for a future video. So games here on Steam, we'll have to check. What else did we do? I think that's about it for today. I was just kind of surprised the fact that I did have a bug already. I mean, it is Wayland and it's still buggy. All the bugs have not been ironed out, and that's why I'm still on X11 on my other computers. It's just a more stable situation with X11 still. But I feel like Wayland, because I remember the first time I tried it was probably about 2 years ago, and it was Manjaro, which is also Arch based, and it was very polished, but it did have bugs. Wayland just wasn't ready. Also, if I left it on for a couple of days, it needed to be rebooted because it started to have issues. So it's not one of the, I don't know what's gonna happen with Cachy. I don't know if it's gonna, maybe that problem was just bad luck. So we'll see in the next few days if more bugs rear their ugly heads, or if it was just bad luck. But right now it seems to be recording, so I think we're gonna stay on this for a while. I already edited one video, and Kdenlive actually worked just fine on Cachy. I didn't have any problems with it, so Kdenlive is working well. And yeah, I think we'll leave it at that. I hope you guys learned something today, and I'll see you guys on the next video.